We'll be seeing you in our mind.
Okay, okay, so we are welcome to this webinar. Thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate. Thanks for joining Oppia for this amazing session. So shortly, I'll be reading out the profiles of our guests, and then just a minute. So on this call, please will soon join us. But before then, let me read out everyone's profile. So we have Toluwanimi Ogbonna. She's a passionate edutech leader, a product manager, and a product designer at Varsity, where she teaches aspiring designers how to create innovative user-centered digital products. She has a strong background in both education and technology, and she's committed to making tech learning accessible and engaging for diverse audiences. As a wife and mother of two, Toluwanimi balances her professional responsibilities with her dedication to family, all while contributing to the development of future tech leaders. Our work focuses on empowering others through education and digital innovation. Thank you, Toluwanimi. We are honored to have you join us for this session.
Thank you so much,
So our
Shola, for
next guest is, yeah, thank you. So to join us is Miriam Iwekola. Miriam is a dedicated UX researcher with a master's degree in user experience design. She excels in gathering and analyzing user insights through field studies, usability testing, and qualitative research. Miriam's journey into UX research is rooted in a rich background in both entrepreneurship and hospitality. Her transition into UX research allows her to leverage these insights to advocate for users and design solutions. We are privileged to have you join us, Miriam. Thanks for joining Oppia.
I'm so happy to
Thanks
be
for
here.
joining
Thank
us
you
for
so
this
much.
session.
I'm so
So
happy to be
next
here.
on
Thank you
this
very much.
is Bukola Salau. Bukola Salau is a dedicated edutech leader. She's a product designer with 3 years of experience, driven by a deep passion for improving access to digital literacy and education in underserved communities. As a volunteer, Bukola has actively participated in initiatives like the Tech Girls Drive, where she spoke to students, encouraging young minds to embrace technology and digital skills. She is actually committed to pushing the boundaries of interactive learning, particularly in underserved communities, and continues to advocate for the use of technology to create lasting educational impact. Bukola Salawu, we are pleased to have you join us for this wonderful session. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now, over to Peace. She will soon join us. Peace is a certified product designer and passionate advocate for women in tech and digital rights. She has a strong focus on education technology, holding a first class degree in computer science and a UX design certification from Google's Coursera program. She has emerged as a leader in the tech industry, particularly within the edtech space. As a women tech maker ambassador for Port Harcourt, Peace advocates for women's empowerment through education, inspiring more women to pursue career in technology. Her passion for digital inclusion drives her mission to bridge the gender gap in the tech and education sectors. Previously, Peace led the Google Developer Student Club, fostering a community of innovators focused on building impactful educational tools. So we are so honored to have you. Apparently, we have amazing women edtech leaders on this call. So we'll be doing this together. So now, webinar overview. Just a minute. Trying to. Okay. Okay. Can you all see me? Okay.
Yes.
Can you see me? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, amazing. Finally. Okay, so overview of the webinar. Well, according to UNICEF, there are actually significant disparities in digital literacy rates and access to quality education. So all over the world, we discovered that there's disparity between digital literacy for among young learners. And over the years, while this has actually improved, we still cannot deny the fact that there are still some areas where young learners do not have access to digital education. So we are going to be discussing on why digital literacy is important, why interactive learning is important, what are the challenges underserved communities are facing, why is it that they do not have quality digital literacy, and as edtech leaders too, what is your role? What can you do as an edtech leader to help mitigate this challenge for undeserved communities? So first off, what exactly is, do you think there are actually, do you think there's a reason, a need for interactive learning? What is digital literacy? Is it really important? Is it what they hype? Is it worth talking about? What do we think digital literacy is? Let me just ask any of our guests as Peace is not on the call yet. Bukola, can you share with us what do you think digital literacy is, especially for young learners? You can unmute your mic, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. So one of the points that I would like to make when it comes to the importance of interactive learning, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, 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 you can.
Okay, so I strongly believe it helps with critical thinking and problem solving skills,
Okay.
right? So for students, it sort of helps them. So when they are involved in interactive learning, it sort of helps them to actively engage in content, not just when they consume things passively online. It differs when they are in a form of interactive learning environment. It sort of helps them to build their problem solving skills. They get involved in some trial and error, activities. Okay, let's do it this way, let's do it that way, because just because it is interactive for them, so it helps them over the time. It builds their problem solving skills, not just for academics, but also for life. And when they go out there in the work environment, corporate environment, so this helps them overall. So
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that definition. Now that we understand what interactive learning means, are there really let's talk about the importance. What are the importance of interactive learning? Is it really necessary that a young learner is exposed to interactive learning? What are the benefits of interactive learning? I'd like to call on Tolu to give us and explain to us from our own perspective. What do you think? All right, over to you. You can meet your mic, please.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, I'm really, really excited about this topic that we are touching on today. Importance of interactive learning. Just like Bukola had said, right? Interactive learning is actually very, very important in this age and day. So one of the importance is that it actually does increase the student motivation and their retention. Now, a lot of answers that I'm going to be giving here, I'm going to be speaking from a very personal point of view because I actually learned about Oppia earlier this year from Shola, and my son actually actively uses the Oppia platform, right? So, and I know that one of the things that it has helped him with is his motivation towards learning. You know, he's always very eager. He always wants to go through the lessons, and that is one thing that interactive learning can help, build in children. It can actually help them build that motivation to always want to study. And actually, there's this statistics, right, by the National Training Laboratories that students that actually learn, through active involvement, right, they're able to retain 75% of whatever it is that they learn, as opposed to people that just learn through lectures. I'm pretty sure that most of us that are here now, we learned through just being in class, and then the lecturer just keeps going on and on and on and on, just speaking. And then we mostly had to, maybe stay up all through the night to be able to, we call it la cram la pour, just quickly cram it so that you can pour it in the exam, right? But this is something that
Yeah.
interactive learning actually helps us with. You do not need to la cram la pour, really. You are learning as you are doing. You are learning by interacting with this platform. And yeah, it's just really important in helping our students build their motivation and their retention. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. That part of La for our viewers watching us, probably not from not from Africa or Nigeria, is like you are practically trying to memorize and just pour it out and just write the exam and just get done with it. And many students are actually fond of doing that, especially when deadline is approaching and you still have lots of things to do. Thank you very much for that part, Oluwani. So over to Bukola, the importance of interactive learning from your own lens. You can unmute your mic, Bukola. Hello, Bukola. Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Yeah, so sorry, my network tripped out. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Importance of interactive learning from your own perspective. We would like to hear from you.
Okay, so another core importance is it fosters a sense of community among learners, right? So when kids learn together, they sort of feel connected to each other. They make friends. So that's where one of the places for students to make impactful friends is through learning. So when you connect them with people who have the same interests with them, you make them learn together. So it just helps them to form a community, and that can eventually help them in the long run to make meaningful connections that they need in the outside world.
Yeah, thank you very much for that point. I hope our viewers are learning as much as I am over here. So, Miriam, it's over to you to share what you think importance of interactive learning from your own lens as an epic leader.
Okay, so I'll just build upon what the last speaker said actually, because I think that's like the major part of everything we're talking about today. Building relationships, building friendships, helping these children, helping them to, build relationships with other people. When they, through collaborative activities, be it they are doing something in group, be it they're just having a discussion, be it they're having like hands-on learning on, like even if it's a game or something, they have this opportunity to meet with this their peers that they share the same interests and same challenges, and this is going to create some kind of bond, kind of support system that encourages them to take risk, encourages them to want to like be more interested in whatever they are learning, be deeply engaged in whatever they are learning. And also, yeah, it's going to allow for each of them to share their diverse experiences, their diverse perspectives, exchange ideas, and this is going to just foster, enrich their understanding of the topic of whatever they are trying to learn on. So it's a really big importance, and that is why I said I was going to build on it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. One thing common to all the points and speakers have raised so far is the fact that interactive learning affords a learner assimilate and understand better. In fact, you get to remember for a very long time when you learn through interactive methods, different from you are just cramming and you're just memorizing just to point down. So digital literacy, sorry, interactive learning is very, very important for young learners. Now, one thing I do when I have a topic is to break the topic down so that we will really understand what the topic itself means. Now that we've done justice to interactive learning, now it's time to look at digital literacy. What do we really think about digital literacy? All this buzz around digital literacy. We Is it really worth the hype? Is it something that is so important? So I'd like to hear from Peace. What yes, I would like to hear from our speakers about digital literacy. Why do you think digital literacy is important? Do you think it's important at all? Or do you think we are just overhyping the word digital literacy? So Toluwani, we want to hear from you. What do you think about digital literacy, the
Okay.
importance of digital literacy?
Okay, so just to confirm, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I think just like you said, let's try to break down what digital literacy is, right? So digital literacy consists of two major words, right? Digital and literacy. So basically, it just has to do with, you being able to get information digitally. The information could be anything, it could be study, it could be anything literally, right? So you're getting information digitally. Now, why is digital literacy important? Now, I'm going to really, really, just concentrate on this information part. One of the reasons why digital literacy is very important is because it gives us access to information, right? I can literally be here in Nigeria and I'm able to access information of somewhere in Australia or something, right? I do not need to have to travel all the way to Australia. So that's like one of the very, very important, importance of digital literacy. And then it also now equips children, since we are talking about, students or children here, it actually does equip students with the skills. They're able to actually access and evaluate information online, right? And I think it was Bukola that initially talked about critical thinking. Now, if I'm accessing information online, this actually helps me build my critical thinking skill because I need to be able to analyze this information that I'm actually accessing online, right? So I think that's like another importance of digital literacy. It actually helps to build the critical thinking. And then it now also expands access to resources, right? So just like I said, I can literally be anywhere in the world and I can get, access to resources anywhere, literally anywhere. So, it really expands access to resources. What else? It increases critical thinking, problem solving skills, and then you're able to really really apply these things that you're learning through digital literacy. You're able to apply it to real world scenarios, right? Let me not take so much time. Let me allow other speakers go.
Okay, thank you very much for that point. Another thing I would like to add to that point is the fact that one thing me I personally love about digital literacy is the fact that even without a tutor or a teacher, for a young learner can absolutely learn on their own, even without a guide. So it's so amazing that the learner does not really have to say, "Oh, I don't have a teacher. I don't have," just the exposure to that. We have taught that particular learner or individual get access to those information. Thank you very much, Oluwanimi, for doing justice to that. Over to Bukola. Let's hear your view, the importance of digital literacy from your own lens.
All right, thank you so much. So one of the the core importance that always comes to my mind when I get to answer questions like this is, okay, let's take for example my own personal experience. Let's say as an undergraduate, let's say when I was in maybe a primary school student, I did not have access to internet that much, right? So probably because of lack of information, a lot of stuff. So there's some things that, okay, let's say they give me an assignment now. It would have been very easy for me as a student, a young student, to just go online, look for resources to complete my assignment. In fact, it makes it so much easier if students have access and the necessary information. They are aware that, okay, I can do this assignment online. In fact, I can even turn in my work online. So it just helps in such a way that they have an informed teacher and the student is also informed. So it brings everything together and it makes their work easier. So I have resources, a student has resources to complete the assignment. they work it out, they turn it in online to their teachers. It works. Like the workflow is even much better. So that's one core importance that I that has a personal impact um, due to my own experience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bukola. One thing I learned from your point is the fact that digital literacy makes life easy. Let me just literally just put it like that. Like you can just learn at your own pace, at your own time. Like it just makes learning easy and smooth. Thank you so very much for that point. Over to Miriam. Let's hear from your own lens. Mm, importance of digital literacy from your lens. What do you think?
So when we are talking about importance of digital literacy, um, these days it's no longer. I mean, it's no longer like an advantage. I think it's a necessity, right? Like these days, for anything you want to do, for anything we want to get ourselves involved in, we need to just be digital literate. It's necessity for like to getting jobs, even to keep increasing in our career. So by preparing our kids to learn these things now, it's kind of we're just preparing them ahead of a wide range of job opportunities, feeds like IT, digital marketing, and lots of, they're all growing like rapidly now, and these roles are in demanding. So we need to like equip our kids with our young ones with all these skills that opens the door to all these exciting career paths. Technology is evolving, and we have to just keep um evolving with it, I think. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Yeah, thank you very much, Miriam. You are so right about digital literacy opening doors, like opening doors. You can basically apply or do anything. Like you can learn any skill with your digital literacy. You can become whatever. Like how before now, if you want to be a doctor, you have to go through medical school and do all of those trainings and all. But now, digital literacy can even afford someone without higher education to learn basically any skill. You can become a digital marketer. You can learn any tech skill even without going through the four corners of school. So it's such an amazing platform. Like it's something that every child, every individual should actually embrace because it opens doors of opportunities, and we can't deny the fact that now we are in AI generation, not even internet. It's now AI generation where everything is almost like fast and fast and fast. So the world is evolving, everything is changing. So digital literacy will make all the difference in not becoming redundant in whatever you knew before now. And as a matter of fact, sef, digital literacy will not make you like irrelevant, so to say, in your field. With your digital literacy, you can compete with everyone or anyone from different parts of the world. So it's so important. So over to Peace Ewo. From your lens as an educated leader, can you share with us the importance of digital literacy? We want to hear your opinion. How important is digital literacy for young learners or even individuals generally? So let's hear from you. You can mute your mic. I think your mic is muted.
Sorry. I didn't know I was muted. Okay,
Okay.
so good evening, everyone.
Yeah,
Sorry
good
for
evening.
it's out on technical issues. Okay, so basically, from my own lens, what I would say about digital literacy is that it plays a crucial role in our daily life. There's not like the earlier times when we went to nursery and primary school when most of these things were not really as rampant as it is right now. So people can gain access to information and resources from the confines of their home in their environment and all of that. So including individuals of various class and standard, even the ones in a socio-economic background that's naturally it wouldn't have allowed for it. So it also plays a very vital role in job opportunities and skill development. I think one of the speakers mentioned that we now have a huge access to some skills and that we can learn from just having access to our mobile phones, and a lot of jobs too that we can do. Since COVID struck, we really discovered that it is necessary for us to work from home, and it's very effective too. So there it cannot be overemphasized the importance of digital literacy. And also we talk about education and lifelong learning. There are so many information. There are so many educational platforms that we can harness by just having by the help of digital literacy, like Coursera, Udemy, and the rest of them. So it's also very necessary because it helps in entrepreneurship and economic mobility. By being digitally literate, individuals can leverage the internet to start their own businesses or promote existing ones. Even small scale entrepreneurs can use digital tools to as entrepreneurs to have a wider audience reach. So in summary, digital literacy has reduced so many barriers that naturally would have existed before now.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Your point is actually like a confirmation or affirmation of the fact that digital literacy gives all kids, no matter where they come from, the chance to learn and succeed. So it's like anyone can succeed with digital literacy because you can, like we've all mentioned, you can basically learn anything you want to learn. You can learn anything you want to learn. I remember there was a time at home we wanted to install something, and all we did was just to go on YouTube, watch that particular procedure, and then we got it done. Like it felt so like it was so interesting because we would have spent so much fixing that thing. But what we did was just to apply our knowledge of digital literacy, to just go on YouTube and search for it, and we were able to get it done. So the importance of digital literacy can never be overemphasized because it's like it's like a tool that affords everyone equal opportunity to be better off in the society. So thank you very much for doing this with Oppia. Thank you for joining us for this session. Now that we've evaluated the importance of digital literacy, we've also talked about the importance of interactive learning and how important it is. I would also want us to go to the second part of this webinar, which is based on this undeserved communities. That is communities that are not really privileged like that. It will interest us to know that there are about 70% of children without digital literacy. I mean, they don't even have access to all of those things we are even talking about, which we will not even deny could affect them competing for international or competing with global audience. So, what do you think now? Going looking into the undeserved communities now, what are the challenges that you think undeserved communities could have harnessing this important platform, this important innovation? I'll start from Toluwani to share with us from your experience and from your view. What do you think are the challenges undeserved communities? What do you think they could have? What are the challenges and how can they enjoy this innovation? How can they be a part of this wonderful innovation? So over to you, Toluwani. You can unmute your mic, please.
Okay, thank you so much. So, one of the biggest challenges that I can say on underserved communities actually experience, right, is limited access to technology and the internet. Now, there are a lot of children that they do not actually have access to a laptop. They don't have access to a tablet. They don't even have access to a mobile phone, right? So if they are not able to have access to to either a laptop, a computer, whatever, there's really no how they would be able to really there's no how they would there's no how, like this digital literacy that we're talking about, right? There's no how they are really going to benefit from it, because these are like literally the tools that you need to be able to access things online. And then maybe the ones that now have access to these phones or whatever, they have limited access to internet, right? It's either maybe they don't even have access to it at all, or it is too expensive. Now I can remember that I went for one drive, right, in one school. It was a public school here, right? Their computer lab was a total mess. It was more or less like they had, I think, just two computers. And in their senior secondary school, they were almost 1,000. Like, how are they supposed to, be able to, how is it supposed to be 500 students to one computer, And then they were really talking about how they have been trying to get, grants or something to be able to set up systems for these students. So I think this is like one very very big issue: access to technology and internet. And I actually wrote down something when I went online, right? So according to UNICEF, right, 1.3 billion, not million, no, 1.3 billion children globally, they actually lack access to the internet at home. So it is actually a very huge pandemic, right? So yeah, I think this is like one of the major challenges for underserved communities. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. It's the statistics is so frightening and so disturbing, so to say. It means that we all have work to do on digital literacy sensitization, so to say, to encourage people from underserved communities to embrace this innovation. So over to our next speaker now to also share with us the challenges she the challenges you feel like underserved communities might have concerning digital literacy. That is me calling on Bukola to share our
Yeah,
experience or to share our opinion on this.
yeah. So to actually build on what Tonwane said, one of the challenges that underserved communities face is the lack of digital skills and training. And when we look at it from what is actually an underserved community, like why are they underserved? Have you been to one before? Because if you see the number of students in a classroom versus the teacher, like let's say one teacher to maybe it's a lot. Okay, for me, my background, I was in one of those underserved communities. So I used my first 2 years in secondary school in one of these community schools, right? So imagine a situation whereby not every student has the chance to learn equally, right? So, and they do not even have the digital skills to even go online and learn. And even if they give them this platform that okay, this is okay, or they tell them that you can do this thing online, they lack the skills to just navigate the online environment. And also the barriers, it just reduces the student chances, right, in the long run. So, and that is why addressing the gaps through digital platforms like Oppia can just help to level to just strike a balance. We might not be able to give them more teachers, but we can introduce to them platforms that can help them navigate the challenges. So, like, just to iterate, one of the challenges that underserved communities face is lack of digital skills. So, and I strongly believe they need help around that. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much. Without the right training, truly, there's no how people could learners could learn or make use of this. So proper training is actually very important because they might be confused or unsure of what to even do. In UX design, there's you expect your users to know how to navigate a particular platform, but when you subject your product to testing, you now see that instead of them logging in via a button, they are clicking on another thing. I am wondering that what is going on. The user should know what to press or something. So there is also a part of training. How will the students, how will they learn, how can they understand how to how to use a proper laptop. There was a day I told a young lady to please let me shut down my laptop because I was busy with something. And to my surprise, the young lady whispered to me and said she doesn't know how to shut down a laptop. And for a second, I felt it was a joke until, yeah, she told me, she doesn't know how to shut down a laptop. Like somebody out of secondary school, aiming to gain admission. So it's a very serious thing that needs serious attention. So I'll move to Miriam to share with us challenges for faced by underserved communities. Over to you, Miriam.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Another pressing issue I would like to talk about is the issue of overcrowded classrooms. I mean, many schools in these underdeserved areas, they go beyond their capacity, which leads to classrooms being one teacher is going to be responsible for like dozens, 2 dozens of students, and it will be difficult for the teachers to provide, I mean, the individual attention and support that these kids really, really need, that the students really, really need. They struggle to understand all of the things that are being taught and how, and like they feel lost. So I think that's like a key challenge. And another thing I can also talk about right now is this thing of the less experienced teachers in these communities. Like we have all these less teachers, they are not really qualified, and they are there to train this to train these students. It's not going to yield, I mean, positive return, because they don't have the strength. They have absence of the needed what they're supposed to know to even pass across to this students. So it's really an issue. And also another thing is lack of resource, or let me say resource limitation. Most of these schools, they lack essential materials, common textbooks, like the first speaker already said about computer. Most of these schools don't have anything like tablets, anything like computers, anything like technology, any form of technology for the students to even use, to even participate in some things that can expose them to being a digital literate. So all these are very, very, I mean, pressing issues that could be that can talk about right now.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, Miriam. And one thing that I actually found interesting during one of my pilot study to a community school for outreaching project, I discovered that even some teachers, truly like you mentioned, they do not really have the know-how. Like I literally had to take a teacher through on how to guide the students on how to use a laptop. So we cannot also deny the fact that even teachers, parents, guardians, they also need this training too, this digital literacy, not only for students too, not only for students, stakeholders generally, parents, teachers, they also need to. And I've been to schools on digital literacy sensitization where they do not even have ICT lab or computer lab, no single computer. And interestingly, they offer computer science or computer as a subject. And so what they do is to draw this computer for them. Like they just literally just draw and just show them the power. This is how a mouse looks like. You know, it's so I don't know. But then this is why we are having this conversation, that this is an urgent need for communities like this to also take advantage of innovation of internet, of digital literacy. So please, Elwa, we'd like to also hear from you. What are the impacts of all of this? Every of this challenge, do you think it has impact on a young learner? Let's hear from you, please. Thank you.
Yeah, just like
Your mic
Miriam
is
said,
muted.
I'm unmuted. Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay,
Oh,
yes, we can hear you.
okay, so just like Miriam said, um, limited resources is one of the things that can really affect most of those kids in undeserved communities because they don't have equal access to education like the kids who have it at the tip of their finger. So limited access to education, we can also classify this as part of it because now we have kids who are in a classroom, just like I think it's Bukola or Toluwani that mentioned that. Then just a single teacher, and then they have so much student that they have to tend for. Now the resources to teach them, it's not even available. Like you mentioned also that imagine having 2,000 students and then just two computers to teach them. So how do you even expect them to meet up with the technological trend? It becomes very difficult for kids in undeserved communities. And another thing too is social exclusion. Now we know that with social media, everybody can gain access, first-hand access to information. People can gain first-hand access to information. But right now, these ones who are socially excluded, they cannot gain first-hand information to access to information because they don't even know what is happening on the internet. So that's like a very big breach for them. They don't even know where to upskill and how to like improve on themselves. Then another one is inequality to information, like I mentioned earlier, access to internet. So we also have important information that these students would have had to ensure their development and learning. Okay, now we're talking about AI. So if you go to most of the schools in the urban areas, most of the kids are already abreast with AI, artificial intelligence, and how it works, robotics, and all of that. But then when you go to most of these students, these kids in undeserved communities, they don't even have an idea what it is. There was a time my team went for an outreach to introduce AI to people in the communities, the rural communities. They can't even comprehend that something like AI can exist and how it functions. So trying to bridge this gap and then giving them a socially informed environment is really, really necessary for those in undeserved communities. That's my own contribution.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we will all agree with me that it's a serious issue that needs serious intervention. And now that we've evaluated the importance of digital literacy, we've talked about importance of interactive learning, and we've also looked at the challenges faced by underserved learners from underserved communities. I would also like us to explore Oppia. Now, Oppia is an educational platform that offers okay, Oppia is a free and open source platform that is designed to make learning engaging and accessible for everyone, especially for students in underserved communities, with the overall goal of ensuring every child has access to quality education. Now, with Oppia, a child or a learner does not have to pay to get quality education. It is absolutely free. So a platform like Oppia is is actually very important and very good to help students from underserved communities have equal rights, have equal digital literacy as to other children from every part of the world. So if you are watching this now or you watch later, I'd like to share an overview of what Oppia is all about. In case you're just wondering, what is Oppia? Like you're seeing Oppia on the flyer and you're just wondering, what is this Oppia she's talking about and all? And the benefits of Oppia too. Now, Oppia with Oppia, kids can actually access lessons wherever they are. They can take lessons at their convenience. They can learn. The flexibility is there. And also with Oppia, there's interactive features. I mean, there was an outreach I went for. I told the learner to play the audio, and the audio was saying what was in the lesson. The child was so excited, like the student was looking at me like, the teacher, where's the teacher? Like, is the voice now, reading out what is in the lesson. And also, the fun thing about Oppia is the fact that the illustrations are so relatable for students. They use um, relatable illustrations like stories just to make learning fun and enjoyable by learners generally. So with Oppia too, Oppia gives opportunities for community members to create and share, it gives the privilege for communities to get their children, their learners, their students trained or even guide a teacher on how to go about explaining a particular subject. I've attended an outreach like that, Oppia outreach, and when the teacher saw how to explain division to the students, I mean a mathematics topic called division, she was like, she has been looking for how to basically just teach them and make them understand. But with open lessons, you could see, for example, Joy bought 10 oranges and shared this with, stories like that where students could enjoy and understand lessons. And it's absolutely free. The student can download and use at their convenience. So that's basically what Oppia is all about, to learn, to give every child around the world quality and free education at no cost, to learn on their own. So that's what Oppia is all about. Now that we've evaluated all this now. Now it's now time for all our speakers to just come in. As EdTech leaders now, can you share with us how do you think you can also come in now? Apart from Oppia, using the platform Oppia to mitigate this urgency, this need for digital literacy, helping as EdTech leaders too, how can you help Oppia? How can you come in as EdTech leaders? I would like to call on Toluwani to share with us briefly.
Okay. So yeah, I think you have actually said what I wanted to say, right? So one of the ways that you can actually get involved, right, as an edutech leader, first off, right, is to actually explore Oppia platform. So I know when this webinar started, I started out by mentioning that my son actually uses Oppia and he loves the platform. We got to know about Oppia through Shola, you know, and I think one of the ways that you can actually contribute as an edutech leader, there are actually opportunities. I don't know if I think Shola, if you can drop like the link to the Oppia platform, but I think you've done that
Yeah,
already. You
yeah,
can actually contribute as a tutor. You can actually take lessons for Oppia. You can teach. You know you can teach in Oppia. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So
yeah,
I think before you can, and as an edtech leader, for you to be able to do that, right, you need to be able to do your own research, go through the platform, know how the lessons on the platform are. The lessons are highly interactive, right? So you know that okay, I can contribute to this by maybe putting out interactive lessons and contributing to Oppia. That is one. Another way that you can actually help and get involved is by actually introducing this platform. So obviously now you must have gone through it, like somebody like me. Now I went through it, introduced my son to it, and I also told other people about it. So that is another way, letting people know about the Oppia platform, letting them know. You tell them about your success stories. You tell them about how the Oppia platform can actually help them, you know. And then when you do that, you're actually increasing the opportunity for a lot of children out there. Yeah, so basically that's it. And there's one thing that I really, really love about Oppia, right? Oppia actually uses a low bandwidth um, data, right? So you don't even need to, your data doesn't even need to be extremely strong for you to be able to access the platform. And another thing that I really like is the fact that it has both the app and the web content. So if it's access to the app that you have, no problem, it's there for you. If it's access to the web content, it's right there for you. So yeah, I think getting involved by probably contributing and then also by promoting the Oppia platform, by actually spreading the gospel, if I can say that. Yeah, so I think that's one way to get involved as an editor leader.
yeah. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you so much. And it's so. I remember the first time you told me that your son uses Oppia. I was like, really? And I would want more parents to and educators to embrace Oppia and use it to help them teach and also guide their students too. So over to Bukola. Bukola, any can you share with us as an exec leader what's your role?
Yeah, so I'll just like continue from where Toluwani stopped. That's one thing I like to do, and to like the way to get involved is through initiatives. So you can find yourself in private schools, non-profit organizations, educational organizations. Just tell them about it, and you can just start from the basics, like, okay, what is digital literacy? And then tell them, when you inform them, you can start introducing Oppia's resources to them, that okay, you can use this to learn, your kids can use this to learn, and all of that. So you can even, like Toluwani said, you can even start exploring with them if you have the time. So just, you know volunteer as a tech leader to propagate this digital literacy initiatives. So that's one core thing that I feel will make so much impact. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. So, in a minute, Miriam, what your own opinion? So, how can you help as an edtech leader in a minute?
Okay, so one can partner with Oppia. One can partner with Oppia to, like develop new lessons, develop new content that is going to be tailored to the learning objectives of the particular learners or the particular students. So this is going to, like enhance their educational resources that are being available. We spoke about this in the other topic earlier about what they face in undeserved communities and limited resources availability. So this can help to, double the amount of resources they are going to be getting that's going to be available for them, to ensure that each of the students, each of these kids, they receive they get engaging materials, relevant stuff to what they are learning, and they can relate to that with their experiences in school. Yeah, so that's another way you can get involved as an edutech leader. Thank you.
So, thank you very much for contributing your bit. The session has been so fun and interesting so far, and I'm so sure our viewers and those that watch later on have learned one or two things. So, over to Pete Ewo. So, as an edtech leader, as women technical ambassador, what do you think you can do? What's your role? What is your perceived role? What do you think you can do to to help digital literacy and our discussion?
Okay, so one of the things me I feel I can do is to raise awareness and partner with NGOs to make sure that those in the undeserved communities they have access to quality education, and also have access to the Oppia platform. So if the gadgets are provided for them in their schools, or maybe they can even have access to the mobile phones or tablets that they can use Oppia in, so it's going to really aid them. So one of the things I can do is to raise awareness and work with NGOs that are promoting children education to ensure that those in undeserved communities get equal access, even if not equal, something close to equal access with every other kid out there, so they are not left behind. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very, very much. I've so much enjoyed this session. So much. I've learned so many things. And thanks for doing this with Opia. Thank you. I hope we can have more of these conversations going forward. Also want to say a very big thank you to our live viewers. Thank you so much for showing up and for your time. Thanks for all the interactions. Thanks for all your contributions. I say a very big thank you. Now, if you check the description of this video, I dropped two. I promised us gifts. One is an ebook to help you if you want to help a child like become better. And you are an educator, a parent, or stakeholder in the education industry generally. You will see the link on the description button on YouTube. You can download it, and also the PDF copy of this webinar is also available for you to download freely. So you have the webinar, you have a copy of this webinar in PDF, and you also have a copy of the ebook handbook that can help educators generally. So thank you very much for showing up for Opia. We hope to have you as EdTech leaders. We hope to see your contribution to Opia generally. Thank you. And let me also add this. On Friday, I'll be having a live conversation with a parent, with a user. She'll be sharing with us her experience so far, our experience so far as a user, as Oppia user, she'll be sharing with us. So if you would like to hear from her, and if you also have questions about Oppia, you are curious to know, it will be a Q&A session and also a session to hear from Oppia user. So thank you very much for doing this with Oppia. Thank you very much for coming on board. To our speaker, Oppia says a very big thank you to you. To our live viewers, Oppia says a very big thank you to you. And those that watch after this live session, thank you very much for joining. Do have an amazing day. Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
everyone.
Thank you for
Bye.
joining.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
bye. Thank you.